The children yearn for a Steam Deck 2. It's only been 2 years and the Steam Deck 2 rumor mill has begun once again. But first we have to address the question, will there ever be a Steam Deck 2? And the answer is, surprisingly, yes, there will be. But we don't even know if the Steam Deck 2 will be called the Steam Deck 2. But Valve has hinted at it being released sometime in 2025 or even 2026. But regardless, we do know that the Steam Deck isn't just a one-off product. But now this new rumor comes out from a Chinese forum. Of course, translated and reported on by Notebook Check. The machine translation is quite rough, but Notebook Check interprets it as this having a Zen 4 architecture. They're also suggesting that RDNA 4 will be used. More on this later. And of course, last but certainly not least, the improved screen. It'll have a 900p display, OLED, clocked at 90Hz. But they say this is subject to change. You obviously shouldn't take these rumors as truth, because at the end of the day, they're just rumors. The only thing really realistic about this leak is that Valve would use more powerful hardware. But given that the Steam Deck itself is a custom APU, I find it difficult to believe that Valve would use anything that's already on the market. Part of the Steam Deck's greatness is just how the custom APU is tuned for low power consumption. The Steam Deck performs excellently at low power, something most other PC handhelds cannot do because their hardware just isn't tuned for low power consumption. They also specify RDNA 4, but the truth is, I couldn't tell you how much better RDNA 4 is supposed to be compared to RDNA 3, given that there are no RDNA GPUs out there, not yet at least. When the Steam Deck 1 was announced, all we really had were GPDs and 1X players and Ioneas, and they were all using Vega-based graphics. And the Steam Deck was not only significantly more powerful, but also significantly cheaper than all of those devices. And the success of the Steam Deck means that there are many more competitors than there used to be. Many of them are major laptop manufacturers themselves. Now let's talk resolution. The leak says this is supposed to be a 900p display. It's an unusual resolution to be sure. It's not quite 1080p, but it is higher than 800p. So games should look sharper at that resolution. But the leak also specifies that this is subject to change. So while these Steam Deck 2 leaks aren't necessarily believable, Valve is listening to what the people want. While some may say it's not productive to talk about Steam Deck 2 leaks or even what we want in a Steam Deck 2, I think it's quite the contrary, because Valve is known for listening to the community when it comes to the Steam Deck. Maybe not so much for Team Fortress 2, but still. And with the new Steam Deck OLED improving basically everything about the original Steam Deck except for like the performance, the big question is, what do we really want in a Steam Deck 2? Well, first and foremost, and I think this one's pretty obvious, increased performance. Increased performance is the main reason why anyone would ever want a Steam Deck 2 over like a Steam Deck 1. It's also the big reason why Valve is probably waiting between Steam Deck 1 and Steam Deck 2, as opposed to just releasing every year like an iPhone. A true generational leap is what Valve wants, and I think that's the best way to go about it. Like, I really hate the yearly release model that every other company likes to go through. Like, I get it, it's their company, they get to decide when they release new products, but I'm just not a fan of that type of release cycle. And yes, you don't have to buy a new one every year, but still. Imagine if Xbox and PlayStation released a new console every single year. That would be insanity. Now let's talk screen. You know, in prior years I would have said that the Steam Deck needs OLED, but the Steam Deck has OLED now. So what does the Steam Deck really need now? Some would say a higher resolution, but honestly, the PPI on the original Steam Deck and OLED is just fine. So that just leaves variable refresh rate. And I found this in a Linus Tech Tips laptop review, but essentially, doing variable refresh rate on an OLED on a portable display is extremely difficult. But hey, they recently found a breakthrough, albeit in laptop form. Is it possible to apply this to like a smaller screen like a Steam Deck? I hope so. If it is, then go for it. But the only other alternative besides just not having VRR is going back to LCD, and I'm not going back to LCD. Next up is battery life. The Steam Deck OLED had a much denser battery than the LCD Steam Deck, and not to mention it's just more power efficient, resulting in a substantial increase in battery life. The big question is, how much more dense can batteries be at that size and weight? Is it possible to fit a battery with the same form factor and size, but a higher capacity? Is such a thing even possible? That's the big question I don't have an answer to. If it's accessible and hopefully not too expensive, then go for it. But all in all, it really comes down to how efficient the new APU would be. Given how power efficient the Steam Deck and the Steam Deck OLED APUs are, I would hope that this new Steam Deck 2 APU would be just as efficient. hopefully leading to battery on par with the Steam Deck OLED. Now for the most important part, the price. I firmly believe that half of the Steam Deck success has to do with the price. The $400 price point is basically perfect. With the Steam Deck, you got a perfectly serviceable entry-level gaming PC for $400. And it's got controls and a screen too. Can the Steam Deck 2 remain a success at a higher price point? I mean, maybe, but having the starting price be $400, that would be the best outcome for all. Heck, if you can get it down even lower, that would be great, but I'm not holding my breath for that. And of course, the newest Bluetooth and Wi-Fi chipsets that are possible. I don't know if Wi-Fi 7 is going to be that common in the future, but it's already here, so might as well, right? As for controls, leave all the controls. Change nothing. A lot of people say to remove the trackpads, but do not remove the trackpads. And as for the triggers, I would love the triggers to be dual stage triggers, much like the original Steam controller. There's a lot of configurations that make more sense with dual stage triggers than with regular old analog triggers, in my opinion. Oh yeah, and one more thing too. Let's talk about the USB ports. I would like at least 2 USB ports, one on top and one at the bottom. The Legion Go has it, and it's been a godsend. I think every device in the future should have at least 2 USB Type-C ports. And of course, I'd like for them to be USB 4 ports. It'd be cool if we could get Thunderbolt 5 on here, but given that Thunderbolt is an Intel technology, I don't know if they would allow Thunderbolt 5 on an AMD-based platform. Now that we're done with all the hardware features, let's talk about software improvements I would really want. A lot of this has to pertain to game mode, but first and foremost, I'd want an interface where I can update my flat packs easily. Yes, you can do this with a Decky plugin, but I'd like to be able to do this without Decky. Next up is the ability to use your Steam Deck as a controller for your PC. Like, I plug in my Steam Deck to my computer and then I can just use it as a controller. I think that's what I would do with my Steam Deck 1 once the Steam Deck 2 comes out, but Valve would have to make that a feature first. Next up is some way to play ad hoc multiplayer without Wi-Fi. You know, think the original DS, the 3DS, the PSP, the PS Vita, all of those systems. If you and your friend had multiple DSs and multiple copies of the same game, y'all could play together. No Wi-Fi was needed, and this is before smartphones became super popular. Do I sound like a boomer saying this? Maybe, but sometimes even the boomers are right. I would imagine this requiring some sort of Steamworks API, and that yes, developers would need to implement it, but I think devs could implement it, and I think some would if they had the ability to. And of course, last but certainly not least, an easy way to share your screenshots. Yes, this is a very minor thing, but sharing your screenshots on Steam exclusively just isn't that interesting. I don't know a single person that actually uses Steam as their main form of social media. At the very least, I would like to be able to transfer my screenshots off of my Steam Deck onto like my computer or onto my phone very easily. At the very least, I would like my screenshots to be saved in the pictures folder and not some godforsaken location in the Steam directory in Linux. So that about covers all of my thoughts and all the features I would want in the Steam Deck 2. So, what do you guys want? What do you guys want in your Steam Deck 2? What's something you guys would be interested in? Did I miss something? I don't know, let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. If you like this video, please press the like button and check out our other videos. And if you like those other videos as well, be sure to press the subscribe button and share the good gospel of high-tech lowlife with your friends. Furthermore, we have a community Discord for enlightened individuals such as you. And if you wish to further support high-tech lowlife, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Links in the description.